The Knights of the Realm, Episode Origins, Chapter 3, His Father's Son. A slight hiss escapes Andrian's skin as his mother applies the salt paste. He winces, holding in a groan as the burning fades. The alien yet familiar feeling of skin hardening and drying makes him shiver. Wiping away the paste, Maria examines her work, seeing that the wound has scabbed over. "It will scar," she sighs, "but that is nothing new." Nodding, Andrian feels a small wave of relief wash over him. Maria grabs some bandages and gently wraps him. Andrian tries to take it from her to help, but she smacks away his hand. Keeping his arms above his head, he stares plainly out into the distance, fixating on nothing in particular. After a moment, the bandages are wrapped. He waits for his mother to speak, but instead she stands and stares. Reaching for his shirt, he carefully listens for his mother to begin her onslaught. Still, she stands and stares. He pulls his shirt over himself, letting the breath out of his lungs and preparing to smile. "Andrian Soloon Heft," Maria scolds. "What on Otis did you think you were doing?" Andrian closes his eyes and lets his head go slack. Maria begins to pace, groaning as Andrian musters a defense. "I'm not a child," he responds. Maria laughs. "Not a child? I would certainly hope not. Children are reckless. Children are rash. Children leave the injured and weak to fend for themselves while they run to play hero." Andrian looks down, squeezing his temple with one hand as his mother continues. "Why would you follow something so obviously dangerous into the woods? You are not a warrior. You do not wield the Ella. Provoking this banshee nearly got you killed." "I'm still alive," he adds. Maria scoffs. "Indeed you are. We can thank Unicella for that," she scolds back. "You are little more than a man grown, yet you behave like a bumbling toddler." Andrian frowns. It wasn't the smartest course of action, but it was the right one. If I didn't investigate, someone else might have gotten killed. "But they wouldn't," she yells. "No one else would have investigated. They would know better than to wander into the woods when an animal sensed danger. Have you learned nothing from our hunts?" "I know, but not everyone knows your wisdom. A lone child or unsuspecting adult could have wandered in. Annabelle and Mary were with me. What if one of them had—" Maria laughs again. Her cackle is manic as it is mad. "You would hide behind your sisters?" Maria screams. "You had no reason to venture there. You were stupid and foolish and arrogant." Andrian feels himself stand. "I did what I thought was right," he defends. "It's what any good man would have done." "What any stupid man would have done," Maria corrects. Andrian feels the words escape his lips before he can realize them. "It's what my father would have done." Andrian feels his face go pale. His mother is the same for a moment, but then flushes red with a scowl. "Your father?" she questions. "Your father?" Andrian looks away. Maria continues. "Your father might have done the same, but my husband would know not to venture without allies, equipment, or magic, and you barely had one of those." Her eyes turn to Varos, who rests in the corner. He cowers under her gaze. He is wrapped in bandages, but his back is straightened and mended. "You are lucky Unicella favors us, and that Varos is a wolf," she notes. "Healing his back was saving him from death. It took a tremendous amount of our family's divine favor to conjure such a miracle." Maria sighs. "And I had to waste several enchanted arrows to shoo away your banshee." Andrian looks up, his jaw clenched and scowling. His mother matches him, leading the two in a stare-off. Andrian lasts only for a few seconds, looking away with a sigh. I'm sorry," he whispers. Maria takes a breath. "For your sake, I hope you mean that." Walking away, Maria heads for the kitchen. She picks up Anduin's sword from the main table, carefully tucking it under her arm. She stares at Andrian for a moment, her gaze morphing the longer she looks. Initially, her expressions are stern, disappointment and anger its only companions. But then Maria shifts to a softer gaze, one filled with fear instead of joy. She looks away, walking to her study. Andrian feels his gut turn, wanting to utter 100 things and change her mood. He opens his mouth to speak, but something she kept repeating captures his tongue. "You called it a banshee," Andrian says. "How do you know?" Maria stops, slightly turning her head to the stairwell. She spots something there that Andrian cannot see, staring like it held an invisible painting. "I could hear it," she hazily responds. "Put no more stock into this thought." Andrian thinks back to the image he saw when he touched the crystal. "There was something else about her," he adds. "I think she used to be something else." Maria sighs. "Whatever she is or was, she is a danger to our family. Your heroics today have strained me enough. When this thing returns, for the good of this family, I shall deal with it." Maria continues to walk to her study. Following her, Andrian cuts her off from the door. As he does, he sees his sisters peeping from the stairs. "How do you know it will return?" Andrian whispers, looking back to his mother. "Do you think it has a purpose here?" Maria hesitates. Then she looks down at her husband's sword, toying with the chip in the edge of the blade. "Your father always said, if you can, you should. This banshee attacked, and it will attack again. When it does, I will fight it off, all the same." Maria looks up and into Andrian's eyes. Laying a soft hand on his cheek, her stare is serious, almost desperate. "Your heroics, I cannot bear them," she whispers. "I know your father would have acted as you did, but you are not him. Be smarter, my love, as you always have been." She then holds her husband's sword to Andrian. Her hand lingers on it before giving it away. "Repair it, then return it." Andrian nods, watching his mother walk off into the study and shut the door. The soft clicking of the lock echoes through the house. Andrian looks down to his father's sword. He sighs. Turning and walking back into the kitchen, he gently puts the sword on the table as he leans against it. From the corner of his eye, he sees his sisters peeping from their ill-chosen hiding spot on the stairs. Andrian stares back at them. Annabelle offers him a big smile, while Mary gives Andrian a weaker one. Abigail and Valentine exchange a look with one another, with Abigail walking back up the stairs. Valentine stays for a moment, watching Andrian with a mixture of worry and envy. She looks at Anduin's sword on the table, then back to Andrian. She storms up the stairs. Mary and Annabelle watch her leave, then walk down to Andrian and give him a hug. "I thought you were bold," Annabelle whispers, squeezing Andrian's leg. "And I thought you were brave," Mary agrees, patting his back. "Ma just needs to calm down. She'll think the same by tomorrow." Andrian forces a smile, wrapping his sisters in a tight hug. The two return the embrace, and as they break apart, the three share a silent smile. "So, can you read to me again?" Annabelle asks, gesturing to the book sitting open on the floor nearby. Andrian forces a smile, a soft chuckle escaping his nose. With a silent nod, he walks back with the two to the common area. Sitting together on one of the lounges, he lets Annabelle and Mary sit on either side of him as he begins to read. Several hours later. Varas rests upon Andrian's bed, a light snore to accompany his friend's late-night thoughts. Andrian sits at his crowded desk, dressed only in a pair of pants and the bandages wrapped around his wounds. He fiddles with a small strip of chainmail. Looking to the window, Andrian stares out at the broken trees and scattered leaves. The distant scream of the banshee echoes in his mind. He looks out to the spot where the woman called out to the spirit, pleading for a connection. Maeve. The copper-haired woman called her a name. She must have known what the banshee was before. Maeve is some type of spirit, but from where? Why is Ma convinced it will return? Who was the orange-haired woman? Why did the spirit take her? Varas sneezes in his sleep. Andrian reaches out and pets his friend, softly scratching the fur around his neck. After a moment, Varas returns to his slumber. Taking his hand away, he leans back into his desk chair. Opening a worn drawer, he pulls out a wrinkled and folded piece of paper. Several stains and ink smears litter the page, along with crossed-out sentences and scribbled paragraphs. The letter is several pages of different corrections and ugliness, but Andrian sets it on the table as if it were pristine. Dear family, I'm sorry I didn't say this face to face. I wrote this long ago, at first to find the words, but now to make sure the words can be said. I can't tell you where I'm going, but know that I carry all of you with me. For years, I've been at a crossroads. I feel like I'm falling in the air. I plummet without wings, and the ground is invisible. I fear one day I will simply crash. Our family has been my every joy, but I need a life for myself, to see the world, to find love, to struggle and grow, to find my place beyond the meager creations in a barn forge. I tried to swallow these fantasies of adventure, but I'm my father's son. I crave a purpose, and I know the drum that beats in my heart demands I march away. I never wanted to hurt any of you, but I know this letter will. I'm sorry for the pain I can't mend. I'll return regularly, and I'll write letters back even more so. I am not abandoning you. I love you all. Andrian Heft. Andrian leans back in his chair. Rubbing his forehead, he takes a quiet breath. He lingers for a moment, scowling at the letter. Sitting back up, he takes care to refold the letter exactly as it was before, retying it with the worn-out string. Putting the letter back into his desk, he stares at the ground. The oak floors have several nicks and scratches, littered like leaves in the forest. Andrian looks up, eyeing the wall by the door. The notches near the bottom rise in random pattern, yet Andrian remembers his father carving each mark above his head. The last is just under the top hinge, only a dozen inches shorter from the ground than Andrian is now. He smiles as he remembers that day, the gleeful nod his father gave when he no longer needed to bend down to meet his son's eyes. Rising from his chair, Andrian walks over to his bed. He lifts the blanket and squeezes himself next to Varas. The wolf shifts in its slumber, moving so it can rest its head on Andrian's lap. Closing his eyes, the son of Anduin sleeps. The next morning. Awakening to hushed murmurs, Andrian tenses. Opening one eye, he sees Varas licking his sister's Valentine's hand, her voice low as she tries to quiet him. She sits at Andrian's desk, his top drawer half open. Good morning, Andrian sternly greets, sitting up in his bed and closing the drawer. Looking for anything? Valentine glares at Andrian. Unlike her twin, Mary, the angst of youth rages across her face. Taking after their mother, her brown hair is tied back in a braid, woven with a ribbon running through. Her eyes stare coldly into Andrian's. I need a book, she lies, looking around and picking one up. Andrian eyes her. I'm reading that, he defends, trying to suppress a smile as Valentine's eyes dart across the room. Are you? She questions. What page are you on? Andrian looks at the book in her hands. The plain leather cover gives no indication of its contents, but the slight stain at the page's edges is enough for him. I'm at the section about the Terrafe, he explains. You're holding Hazen's Guide to the Outdoors. Valentine looks at the book. Opening it, she skims a few pages before finding the title. Snapping it shut, she looks at Andrian. Fine, she sighs, putting the book down. Her eyes drift back to the half-opened top drawer. It's still unfair you got your own letter, she complains. He loved you more than us. He never hid it. She looks down at the ground. He can't even hide it in death. Andrian tenses. I don't keep Dad's letter there, he defends, but Valentine's frown forces him quiet. Her face shrivels and shakes, trying to hold herself in. Andrian gently touches Valentine's arm as she fights back tears and shakes her head. Andrian lowers his head and meets her eyes, offering her a warm smile. Valentine sniffs. Andrian opens his arms, and Valentine quickly takes it, squeezing Andrian with all the might a teenage girl can muster, might enough to cause Andrian to wince. Despite the pain in his chest, Andrian holds her tight. He gently places a kiss on her head, squeezing her again. Valentine nods against him. As they break apart, Valentine feels a slight wetness on her shirt. Looking at Andrian, she sees the bandages on his chest wound beginning to heal. Andrian suppresses a wince, cringing as he peels off the bandages. A wet scab lies underneath. "Can you help with this?" Andrian says while gesturing to his cut. Valentine sniffles. "I can," she murmurs. "But can you try not getting hurt next time?" she teases, a smile returning to her face. "I'll think about it," Andrian smiles back. Valentine approaches Andrian, adjusting the bandages to not blend with his skin. Her hands glow white, slowly closing the wound with a soft hum. Andrian studies her, trying to absorb every movement and sound. As the white armor seeps into Andrian's skin, she pulls her hand back. Although he cannot see it, Andrian feels his scab repairing itself. "Now I'm very low on favor," she notes. "It'll be a week before I can do anything again." Valentine then looks around his room. The room lies at the center of chaos and order, every surface scattered with half-open books, novelties, and incomplete projects. Yet the floors are free of clutter. "Maybe if you didn't pursue so many distractions," she teases, "you could actually connect to the Ella and heal yourself." Andrian rolls his eyes. "The Ella's impossible for men," Andrian counters. "According to all those books that you made me read you." Valentine scoffs. "The Ella is impossible for warriors. Who were you born as has nothing to do with it." Andrian slyly smirks. "So, that would make me a warrior." "No," she denies. "It means you aren't praying or sacrificing enough." "But I am a warrior," he teases. "My ability to connect to the Ella supports it." "That's not—" Valentine starts to argue, but then she stops. Crossing her arms, she scowls at Andrian. "One does not equal the other. Even if you are a warrior, you are still—" "Ha!" Andrian teases. Valentine's scowl grows wider. "You aren't a warrior. Yesterday you were just foolish." Andrian's smile fades. I can't apologize for what I thought was right," he defends. "Varas sensed something, and I wasn't going to let him go in alone. I'd make the same choice every time." "Right, because you've always made the right choice." Andrian clenches his jaw and takes a long breath through his nose. "Val, did you need something?" Valentine holds Andrian's stare. After a few seconds, she looks away, focusing on the desk behind her. She reaches for the top drawer, but Andrian catches her hand. The two stare again for a moment, Andrian slowly letting go. "Different drawer," Andrian corrects. Valentine nods. Andrian reaches into the drawer below it and draws the letter. Revealing a clean and neatly folded piece of paper, Andrian gingerly hands it to Valentine. She nearly rips it from his hands, causing him to cringe. Swallowing his hesitancy, he walks away to let her read. She does not speak the words aloud, yet Andrian can still hear them. "My son, the very day you were born, the winds of the world whispered your name. Its gentle song calmed my every nerve, and as I first laid my eyes upon yours, I saw in you the kindness, honor, and strength I had sought my entire life. Like your sister before you, there was a pure goodness in your smile, and the love you have given me has filled my soul for 1,000 lifetimes. Yet, the world will not see you as I do. In all that good I looked upon, I sensed incredible purpose. You are destined for something grand and powerful. Your destiny will try to beat and bruise you before it has even begun. As you journey, many will follow, but many more will block your path. Though through all your stumbles and falls, you must never relent. You were born with great strength, and you must never forsake that strength to fear or anguish. I pray that when your time comes, I will see you off from our home as my pride and joy. I would give you the endurance that I was denied by my own father, and gift you the joy my own exploits and adventures have given me. Keep my words close, my son, for should I not return, I will whisper them to you every day as I lie in Lady Death's realm. When the time is right, the winds of the world will sing your song many times. Your glory will surpass mine with the ease of a bird in the sky. I smile at the thought that our songs may one day join. Your loving father, Anduin Heft. Andrian looks to Valentine, vigilant for any tears. He hears her sniffle, but she hides her face. Andrian pulls his shirt over himself and reaches out to Valentine, but she turns away instead. Tossing the letter onto the table, she walks out of Andrian's room in a huff. With a soft sigh, Andrian takes his father's letter back into his hands. Folding it carefully, he puts it into the top drawer. Taking out his unsent letter, he hides it beneath his desk. Making sure that no one can see it, Andrian walks out of his room.